The West Charlotte Lions and their offense. Bill McMillan, Paul Mulhern with you on the Bubba's 33 pregame show. Flip it over and look at their defense. You know, they give up only 8.3 points per game. They have forced 31 turnovers, and they are really led by their linebacker, sophomore Michael Griffin Jr., who Sam Griner says is one of the best in the state.
Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic. I have him at 5'10", 210 pounds. And that's a little undersized, but he plays bigger than that. He's a true Mike linebacker. He's super fast, super physical. He's a sure tackler. You're not going to break those tackles. Well, we'll see if Donovan Frederick has something to say about that later. But he never gives up on plays, and he's constantly looking for contact. You know, he's one of those guys that always wants to be in on the tackle, and that's huge because most of these 71st guys you cannot bring down with just one guy. So one more thing, he was offered from Troy and Virginia Tech. He also visited the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill last year, so definitely a standout star.
So that's Michael Griffin Jr., and we want to make sure we emphasize the junior. Coach Griner told me that Grandmama is listening and wants to have that junior there. He is a junior, so, man, we are making sure when we say Michael Griffin Jr., junior is included. When you look at they run a kind of a quirky defense. Coach Griner called it a dime 50. So it said it looks like a traditional 3-4, but it's really not. But it's really predicated on their two ends. Sam Johnson, 11 sacks. Caden Smith, 16 tackles for loss. The 71st offensive line is going to have to contain those two bulls.
You're exactly right, Bill. And what they do is they'll have 3 defensive linemen, they'll have 3 linebackers, and then what we call a rover. So it'll be a guy that can either play safety or come up and blitz off the ball or take that flat away. And that's usually KD Cotton is in that position because he is an outstanding athlete and can do pretty much anything you want him to do on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm glad you brought up Antoine Sam Johnson, the junior. I'll tell you what, 6'2", 260. He is one of the best tapes I have ever seen. I love watching the big guys work, and none of them do it better than Antoine Sam Johnson. He uses his hands. He's one of the leaders down there on the defensive line. He started on the varsity squad since he was a freshman, and then each year he's received all-conference first-team honors. And one more thing, because we're students and then athletes first, he's on the AB student honor roll for each of his 3 seasons that he's been there so far. I wrote down he's a great combination of size and speed. I mean, just blowing the bigger tackles off the ball with his speed, and then the shorter guys, the less heavy guys, he's using the bull rush, he's using the rip moves, he's using the swim moves, and just terrorizing the backfield of opposing offenses. He and Michael Griffin Jr. are the keys in stopping this Falcons offense today.
And one other player who I think is going to be a key, leads the team in interceptions. The defensive back is probably either going to be a strong safety or a free safety. Davion Jones, he kind of plays that rover you're talking about. And what I like about what West Charlotte does is they get all their athletes on the field and then says, go play.
Right.
And that's really what does. When you look at Davion Jones, 7 interceptions, not that he's going to have a chance to get him today,
yes,
but he's going to be he's got a nose for the football.
Well, I love that you bring that up, Nance. 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Just want to make that known before we get into this. Davion Jones, 6 foot, 175. He's a big, physical wide receiver / DB. He's an enforcer, and he's great at making catches with his hands, not coming up and trying to catch the ball with your body. You know, at times if you can't catch, that's why you play defense. This guy plays both sides. He's a track star, too, with blazing speed. He was ranked in top 5 in the state for 100 meters. So he's one of those guys that has amazing, tremendous athletic ability. And then, like you mentioned, top 25 in interceptions in the state with 7 this year. He has offers from Duke, Georgia Tech, NC State, where we are today, Troy, and Virginia Tech. So this guy, big impact to be made, but I think downline in the trenches is where we're going to see a lot of the work done on defense.
And we'll talk about the controlling the line of scrimmage when we come back. 13 minutes to kick off of this 3A championship game between the 71st Falcons and the West Charlotte Lions. We appreciate you tuning in on this beautiful Saturday morning sunsplash day at Carter Finley Stadium. You're listening to the best in high school sports on the Mid-South Sports Network and Sunny 94.3 FM. Attention.